All right, so recently there have been people that have had major problems with the teaching that Cain has his own seed line, okay, and that seed line is from Satan. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that in this upload briefly, okay? There are a couple of people, there are actually more than a couple of people. The majority of people, especially the ministers, are trying to keep this hidden from the Christian, okay? And they have been able to pull this off all throughout history, okay? And the way that they've been able to pull it off is really sad and retarded, okay? Because the story is that Eve ate an apple, and that's how Adam and Eve became deceived. All right, so we're all adults, especially the Christian. We are seekers of truth. We want to know what happened, and what happened in the garden was that Satan seduced both Adam and Eve. Okay, one way to put it is he had sex with both of them. Okay, now I am really sorry that people feel uncomfortable talking about that, but let's look at it in another way, which makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so we can refer to what happened to Adam and Eve in a couple of different ways other than that. But in the end, it really doesn't matter how you want to refer to it, because the bottom line is that they were both seduced by Satan. Okay, so the people who are trying to hide that, interestingly, are the people who are pushers of the Nephilim that are described in Genesis chapter 6. Okay, now does that make any sense? No, it doesn't, unfortunately. So the Christian's going to have to wake up and accept reality and accept truth, because I don't know why people would want to continually live a lie their entire lives, okay? So let's examine some of the other ways. Another way to describe what happened to them both is Kundalini rising, third eye awakening, pineal gland activation, whatever you want to call a sexual nature, okay? And this is basically the secret that the churches are keeping from their congregations. So in order to keep the Christian dumbed down from knowing truth, they have basically traded truth with many different agendas, such as all roads lead to Rome, the alien agenda, UFOs, reptilian agenda, stuff like that, okay? Now, there is a foundation of people, according to Jesus Christ, in the book of Revelation, that are running the whole world. They are basically ruling the world through other people, okay? Through the Christian, okay? And that is said to us by Christ in Matthew, in the book of Matthew. He's basically telling us the parable of the wheat and the tare, which is explaining to us that the tares are actually working with the wheat. They are walking among the wheat, and they are actually devouring the rest of the wheat. Okay, so what they're doing is they're trying to choke out the roots of those who are following the Christ, okay? And you know, Jesus spoke in parables, so if you don't understand the parables that he spoke of, there's absolutely no way that you're going to understand the Bible, okay? Consider the series that I'm working on right now in regards to J.J. Vassell. Now, what JJ did was he uploaded on an entity called Kali, all right? And I'm going to quote really quick. Kali is a Hindu goddess associated with empowerment, Shakti. The name Kali comes from Kala, which means black, time, death, Lord of death, Shiva. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I really don't need to go on any further. What he is describing in his upload is the planet Saturn, okay? It is actually Cain. if we go to the Bible, aka God's Word, and we look up Amos chapter 5 verse 26 and Acts chapter 7 verse 43, God is basically telling us that people are worshiping the God star or the star god, and that translates to Saturn. Okay, the names that were given in the Bible are Remphan, Moloch, and basically those two words translate to the planet Saturn. Cain is translated from, how to pronounce it, it's Chuin in the Bible as well. So when God is telling you straight up that you're worshiping a particular planet, then you have to take it back to astrology, astronomy, yada yada yada, which goes back to the beginning of time. The reason why astrology and astronomy is so important is because of Psalms chapter 19 verses 1 through 6. It tells us why the stars and the planets are in the skies. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start at chapter 19 verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Okay, so I put emphasis on a couple of words only because they're very important to know that the reason why astrology and astronomy are so important is because first and foremost, they tell of the coming of the Messiah. Okay, first and foremost. Now, verse 6, you see the word circuit. That means the circle. Okay, so it's like I said about the gospel from Genesis to Revelation. If you don't know the beginning, you are not going to know the end. Okay, and so as it says, day unto day uttereth speech. Okay, so they tell us things, right? They show us things. There's no language that could ever be spoken without the stars and the planets, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on with the other reasons why they're so important. This was a way in which people were able to tell geographic location, different seasons, time of day, and so forth. So it's very important for us to study it and to know it. According to Christ, we are to look into the stars as signs in heaven that tell us particulars that are going on. Okay, but as far as worshiping the stars, worshiping the planets, no, that is out of the question. Christ forbade that in the Bible. Okay, let me give you a little bit of an example of this goddess Kali. Kali is basically the androgynous side of Cain. Okay, so we have the goddesses and the gods. Okay, on the goddess side, we have goddesses such as Mary, Kali, Circe, Maria, Virgo, Lilith, Diana, Venus, Sophia, Ishtar, Hathor, Ostara, Lucifera, Ashtoreth, etc., etc., etc. Okay, when we go with a goddess, okay, and we can think about, you know, like the Statue of Liberty, the Columbia emblem that is used to for movie productions and so forth. Then we are looking at a female representation of Satan. All right, this is where the planet Venus comes in, Venus being the goddess of love. Okay, Venus is actually named as another goddess However, when we talk about the goddesses, we are describing Satan in the female form. So remember, when you hear differences in gods, goddesses, and so forth, there really is none. There is one God and there is Satan, and whatever you want to call Satan, that's up to you, okay? But it is important for people to be knowledgeable, study, and study everything, all right? There are 2 seed lines. We are in a battle according to God. Genesis chapter 3:15 describes 2 seed lines, one of Cain and one of Jesus Christ. So know the truth. Remember, there's only one truth, okay? Find out what it is. Have a nice day.